Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's always a challenge to follow such an act, right? Such an inspirational session from the Honorable Chief Minister. I was sitting in the audience and thinking about a few things, right? It took me back memory lane when I first traveled outside of India and met a politician in Singapore about 25 years ago. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, these people are like business executives. And here we have an Indian Chief Minister who talks execution, who talks matrix, who talks data, who talks technology, the works. So inspiring to see the modern age thinking in the Indian government. So amazing. And I think it's also a good segue into our session which talks about agentic AI. I heard the Honorable Chief Minister mention it a few times. Right? He used the word AI pretty much all around his session. So it's very, very good segue for me to talk about what I'm here to talk about. On a small personal note, I live in Gurgaon, but I'm half Mumbai now because my son lives in Mumbai, so I keep coming here every week. So you can talk to me about the local stuff as well. And on a serious note, just giving you a breather to start off. Let's start off my session. I'm here to talk about AI from a slightly different perspective, from a slightly foundational technical perspective. I'll try and give you a sense of what Google thinks about AI and also about what does it take to build an agentic AI system all up, not just in isolation. So I'm sure everybody is aware of what AI is doing today, but I'm going to talk to you about the foundational building blocks of how to build an agentic AI framework as well. So let's start. The clicker works. When in a couple of years ago, everybody was talking about AI, and then we were talking about AI models, and today everybody is talking about AI agents, right? So there is a general awareness around building agents. But I think a lot of us mistake them to be something like a chatbot or something that we can talk to and get an answer from, or something that we can query. We don't think of agents as autonomous agents that can complete a task on their own, right? Of course, we see some examples of that in our personal lives, but we don't see a whole lot of examples as yet around building agentic AI frameworks or agents that can run tasks autonomously, that can go through an entire cycle of what they're asked to do, take decisions based data in some context. And as you can see in my slide, the word autonomous with business context is important. So I'm going to talk to you about a few things on how you can do that and how not to think of AI just as an LLM model, how not to think of agentic AI just as an extension of an LLM. A little bit more goes there. So first of all, I think the important topic is this word production gap here. Right? There's a lot of world, I would say, changing development in the AI world. But a lot of that has not yet landed into the production capacity of companies or organizations or governments or NGOs or what you may have, right? So there is a huge concept of a production gap. And I think that needs to be addressed with a few things. First of all, you need to create agents that can scale on a global scale, that can run a business, that can handle scale, that can handle business context, and that can handle security on a global scale. You are worried also about what is the governance framework around agents? Everybody is using some form of technology. Is your data leaking outside? Are you creating a system that can be easily hacked? Because you have to get smarter than AI now. You have to use AI to also defend your systems because agents will be attacking systems soon, right? They're already attacking, then they'll get more and more sophisticated. So that's one aspect. The second is the integration maze. You can take many examples of industries like a healthcare industry, or you can take an example of a retail industry. They have many systems that already exist. Agentic AI is not about to replace all the systems. We will have to build agentic AI frameworks that can integrate with those existing systems. And I think is a very, very important part, and I'll skip the reasoning part here. I have a counter going on. So what if you could easily convert all of what I just said into a simple framework of agentic AI that can do a few things? First of all, it can understand your business context. Second, it can integrate with your systems. And third, it can scale on a global scale and run independent autonomous tasks. To do that, Google has announced a platform. We call it the Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform. The Gemini Agent Platform, think of it as a system that helps you build agentic frameworks and that helps you build AI agents in your organization. It has a bunch of underlying technologies which I'll talk about. But I think the first part of it is to understand that it allows you to build applications and run them in a proper systematic manner where there is proper governance, there is proper security around them. It allows you to manage production grade systems, so it is not just like a chatbot, but it goes back into your business systems, it talks into your existing systems, and it optimizes agents for full data-driven evaluation. So it is not like you create a system and just leave it, but think of the system as autonomous and data-driven that heals itself. And I think this is the slide I would like to spend the most time on. And if you want to pay attention to how to build an AI framework, this is a slide that explains that. Let's start with the bottom, what we call as the AI hypercomputer. And you would have heard about things like terms like GPUs. You would have heard things like TPUs over here. This is a system that allows you to create, and the Honorable Chief Minister was talking about compute. That is where this sits. This is a very important foundational scale layer of AI, which we call as in Google as the AI hypercomputer. So think of it as a system that powers all the compute requirements, all the inferencing, all the data training requirements in an AI system. On top of that, we sit the research and frontier models. And I've not used the words models here too much, but think of it as Google's state-of-the-art models like Gemini. Think of it like Chirp, which is our voice model. Think of it as Imagen, which is our image model. Think of it as Veo, which is our video generation model, and so on and so forth. So this is where the models sit right on top of the hardware layer, which is managed. Then you see the agentic data cloud, right? It's very important to understand that the agentic data cloud is a really, really important framework, because if you are not using your own data and you're not using it in a structured manner, you will have to actually define data pipelines properly to be able to run AI systems. And the agentic layer on top actually is driven in most criticality by this layer. You have to have a system that understands your business context, that can take database decisions. And the whole concept of autonomous comes in play here, because unless the system is able to read through data and guideline appropriately, unless the data pipeline is structured and secure, you will not be able to run an autonomous system. The next layer on top of that is the agentic defense system, right? And I'm sure everybody reads about cybersecurity, but please do understand that the concept of cybersecurity is going through a massive transformation. The amount of attacks, the number of attacks, the type of attacks is going to get very, very sophisticated, because you will have agentic systems attacking normal systems. So unless you have a properly trained AI system defending your boundaries here, there is just no way you will be able to defend the AI-led attacks, right? So the agentic attacks are going to get more and more sophisticated. If you are interested in the concept of building agents, please do understand this layer properly. At Google, we've acquired a company called Viz. I'm sure those of you who read tech would have heard about it. We are doing a lot of work in integrating our Viz platform and making it like a agentic defense layer, so to use the word. I think on top of that is the agent platform. So think of that. Once you've now created a system with a hyperscaler, a hypercomputer, you've got the research models on top of that, you've got the agentic data cloud on top of that, and these are virtual layers, right? There's not physical layers sitting on top of each other. You think about agentic defense, and then you think about the platform. So how do I create low-code, no-code agents, right? How do I have a proper governance framework around them? How do I have a system where agents are created, they are monitored, they are governed, they are secured in a structured manner, in line with the company's, with your own organization's policies, and in line with what is low friction for your customers. And then on top of that is the system that helps you build the agentic task force. So think of this like the application layer, right? This is where your customers will come and interact. This is where your employees will come and interact. This is where you can ask the system to do tasks for you. Tell me about, like, if you're an e-commerce company, tell me about what happened to water bottles in the city of, say, Bangalore yesterday. Right? Just write a query and the system will figure out and give you all the answers based on the context, based on what it knows about you. If you're a nurse in a hospital, right, you want to know what happened to your patient's heart rate yesterday. Just a simple query and it'll tell you. It'll also interpret the heart rate for you. It will not ask you to just do. It'll make you more efficient, right? If you're a cancer research, somebody who's doing cancer research, you can figure out tons of data. You can ask the agent to go figure out what's the insight in that data and how do you make your research better. So in real life scenarios, if you are buying something on an e-commerce site, it'll help you based on your context. It will help you narrow down your search. It will help you complete transactions on your basis. It can actually, the concept of agentic, and I'm not going too much into the depth technical aspects here, but we currently have systems that can allow you to buy, let's say, a plain blue shirt on a website of your choice for a certain amount of money at max. Say, I want to buy a shirt up to 3,000 rupees that I can wear for my cousin's wedding this weekend. It should be delivered by this time and it should maximize my credit card points. So all of that workflow for a user can be automated by an agentic system, right? So those are a few examples I thought I'll take and give you a sense of how the agentic AI world is evolving. With that, I have a video. Let me see if it plays, but if it doesn't, we can just skip. I think we have skipped the video, but that's fine. So net, what does Google Cloud bring to you? At Google Cloud, we give you a full stack advantage. So when I talked about the AI hypercomputer in my previous slide, we are not restricting you to just Google's TPUs. We are also providing NVIDIA's GPUs and with an open system architecture that can run systems. When we are talking about models, we obviously have the latest state-of-the-art models, but we allow and encourage our customers to use open source models or models from our competitors as well. But then we help you create a full stack system that is integrated right from the hardware to the agentic data cloud. Then on top of that, you are talking about cybersecurity and an agent platform to top it up. So an entirely integrated stack. We're also very open. So there is no expectation with our customers to have anything only on Google. We allow our customers the option of going whatever systems they have currently, integrating with other cloud platforms or other agentic platforms or other data cloud platforms, and help them use open source technology as and when they like. Of course, trusted, reliable, and an enterprise-ready hyperscaler, because we just don't have the Google Cloud offering. We, on the other hand, also have what is called as the AI Lab, which is DeepMind, that is bringing in all the latest in the world of LLMs to you. Right? So let me just use a few examples now. Yeah, the clicker works. I think this was the slide with the video. We've skipped it. Perfect. So let's use some examples to see how agentic transformation is happening in India. I have two slides, one here and the other one just coming across. I don't want to talk about all of these, but just to give you a few examples. So Manipal Hospitals uses our agentic platforms from Google Cloud to elevate patient care by automating nurse handovers and delivering faster, safer medication access, right? So the nurse in the hospital is the actual user of this platform and helps them provide better handovers to the next nurse coming in, better medication, better routines, and better insights to the doctors about what's happening with a certain patient. So improving healthcare. The second example which I would like to talk about is Mivi. So if you've not heard about this is a company that used to make earbuds, right? And Mivi is an Indian company. So what they have done is they've embedded Gemini in their platform. So you can think of your earbud like a companion. You can talk to it, you can ask it for information, you can figure out, do some research. If you are not feeling good, you can just use some kind of, I know that a lot of people do this, youngsters do this like therapy, or just figuring out, what's the right thing for me to do in this scenario. And think of it like the world inside your ears, using Gemini. And this is an Indian company with an Indian hardware footprint, very affordable solution that runs the latest and the greatest of the stack. Another one is, example is Mahindra. Mahindra Rise is the right way to describe it, but there's a lot of vehicle-defining R&D that Google Cloud does along with Mahindra's. You would have heard the famous Scorpio launch that we did where the 100,000 cars were booked in 30 seconds or something like that. Tremendous amount of impact created there. And there are many other examples. You could pick up a system like e-commerce, where many of our customers are using interactions with their suppliers to be automated. So let's say I am a sari merchant creating saris in the city of, say, Coimbatore, and I have a 5-member team. I don't know how to take good pictures. I just click the photo of a sari, upload it on the website. But the AI system there cleans the image, makes it professional, makes it look like a professional product, right? AI reviews in e-commerce. A lot of our customers are creating video reviews. So you take the photos of a picture, start and end of this thing, front and back, and using an AI system, it creates a video like a demo product, right? Many of our customers are reimagining the way you search food. So depending, or fashion for that matter. So Glance AI, I don't know many of you use that, but Glance AI is transforming e-commerce with an agentic platform. So you could imagine yourself like looking in a suit or in a certain type of dress, in a certain type of setting. Let's say you ride motorbikes like me, so you can buy a motorbike suit. Look at how you will look in that suit. You can change the options and then go ahead and buy on the website. There's so much happening with AI that the examples I can keep going on and on with them. Right? And now let's use some global examples as well. So companies like KPMG, they're using specialized AI agents at their fingertips across sales and marketing. I would love the examples of Walmart, which has created 600 no-code agents within 2 weeks of deployment. So they have started using our agentic platforms at a rapid speed. These numbers are small right now. 600 agents is small. But just imagine how this will get extended once the system gets smart and stable, and then we will be talking millions of agents in every company. And the last example I would like to use is a company I used to work for, which is Apple. Most of you use Apple devices, many of you do. So Siri is powered by Gemini in the back end, and that is an amazing sort of testament of two global companies working together to change user experience using AI. With that, I'll end my session 2 minutes early. My video didn't play, but that's fine. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for this session. If I were to give you one takeaway, I would say think of AI as beyond just agents. Think of it as an entire system. Be careful about how you plan your data journey, because how you plan your data journey is going to be very, very critical to you scaling your AI agentic platforms. Think about cybersecurity very differently than you think about cybersecurity in the pre-AI era. Because, like I said, the amount of attacks and the number of attacks and the severity of those attacks and sophistication of the attacks will get more and more enhanced. So do think about that. And of course, do think about AI agents in a different way. The best way to learn them is to start coding, is to start making agents of your own, right? So if you're a practitioner in the room thinking about how to learn all of this, the best way to learn all of this is to use it, right? So use no-code systems, run your own agents. I have a simple agent that does like an executive assistant to me, and I used a nice name for that agent. Everybody was doing Jarvis and those kind of names, and I said I am from UP, so I'll use Chaudhary as my agent, right? So my executive assistant, AI assistant is Chaudhary. And Chaudhary, what he does is he basically takes a dump of all the issues that are there and sends an email to my team about actions that were to be designed, and that's something we had agreed yesterday and has not been done till today. So I don't remind people to do more. My AI agent does that. I'm just making it live here. With that, thank you so much for the time. I think we are privileged to be in times like these. You have a question? Yeah, please. Only if I allow it to. Yes, it does. Yeah. I can help you create an AI agent offline, but it's easy to do. I use Gmail. I mean, Gmail has automated systems that we use. Google Workspace that we use in our company allows you to do that, yes. But only if I allowed it to send. I mean, I have to specifically allow the system to send the email. It can just draft it for me and keep it there, and I can click the button and it can send it.
And do you give access to your folders as well?
That's personal. If I choose to, yes. I can choose to, or I can choose not to. All of that is definitely systemic programmable. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering wonderfully.
Yeah, please.
Firstly, thank you very much. Very insightful. My question is that, just about a week back, I think Google again announced some 7 or 8 different products. Google Omni, Daily Briefing, quite a few of them, which are fantastic, and a lot of it has got this agentic AI. But what I'm seeing is that Google has been announcing quite a few products, so, and then there is some overlap there. If you see, there's a Stitch, and then you have an Omni, and then, anti-gravity, and quite a few. So is there a plan at some point in time to consolidate and ensure that, that each particular category of what you want to do or classification becomes a lot more clear for the user, rather than right now? For me, it's like I have got hundreds vids, and then I also have a VO. So just wanted your views on that.
Yeah, I think the AI world is so dynamic. There is a huge amount of transformation happening and innovation happening on the product side. And at the same time, we are trying to do best in class for each product, and we're also trying to make sure that there is continuity from what we already have. It's an ongoing exercise. I'm not involved personally in this, but I'm sure that the right people are thinking about the branding and the framing exercise going forward. Yes, but thank you for the point. I have just one more question. Let's take it from the gentleman right here. Okay, this side. Oh, there are a lot of questions. Yeah, why don't you go ahead, please?
Hi, my name is Jay. Thanks for the wonderful presentation. And my question is with regards to the agentic AI. I think a lot of your pointers mentioned that you use agentic AI that does a lot of stuff for you. Now, when you want to create an agent, there are so many platforms that come into being. For example, there's OpenClaw, there's Claude, there's Zapier. So, is there any one specific tool that you would recommend that pretty much does it all? Like for me, right now, I use Zapier to pretty much delegate all my tasks to an agent. But is there something that you would specifically recommend for one to have the entire system set up?
I wouldn't go to recommend a particular platform for an individual, but I mean, of course, I will recommend Gemini, but it's your call on what you like to use. Everybody has their own different frameworks of deciding what they would like to use, and every use case has a different technology. But if you're thinking of an enterprise stack, then Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform, like I called it, look it up, read about it, drop us a note, we'll help you use that better and get it configured.
Sounds good, thanks.
Please. Let's have one from the lady.
Amit, thank you for your wonderful keynote. I am very specific about my question. What Google is doing something for Indian defense sector? Do you have any product right on so we, the people from defense sector, can use your products?
So we are two issues here. One, I am not the expert on the defense side. Second, we don't make products only for Indian defense. We make products for global scenarios. So if you saw my presentation, we are talking about platforms that can run in different scenarios. So, but for sovereign industries and defense applications, there is something called Google Distributed Cloud, which basically is like, think of it like an air-gapped solution that runs the latest tech, but is not connected to the internet for safety reasons. And then on top of that, you can run Gemini in its own side, like an air-gapped environment, which is relevant for defense. My colleague Ashish Vatal will be happy to be in touch with you. I can take your contact and get him to get somebody from the team to catch up. I'm sure we can't discuss a whole lot of defense in this forum. Yeah, ma'am, please. This is my time's up. This is the last question before I get thrown out.
No code and all boom हो रहा है बहुत ज़्यादा. So what you suggest a student, like I'm a BTech student, so like what skills, like कौन से skills और focus करना चाहिए? Like बहुत सारे skills हो गए, ML, AI, ML, no code, agentic AI. So what do you recommend a student like?
Don't worry about my advice. Don't worry about the degree.
Yeah.
Worry about the skills, right? What skill do you have? For example, do you know how to code? Simple. Do you know how to create an agent? Right? Do you know how to create an agentic platform? Do you know how to create an AI harness? Focus on those things. Focus on creating an AI pipeline, and don't worry about what technology you use. As far as the concept is clear to you, you can use any framework, right? And eventually you will learn. And be on that track. The smartest people in Google who are running AI systems for us as part of our teams are the ones who actually solve the problems themselves. Hands-on, as much hands-on work as they do, they become more and more valuable. They do better in their careers. Customers like to work with them. Companies like to employ them. So AI native technology, hands-on work is the mantra. I'm doing that myself too, and I'm asking my son to learn like that. With that, thank you so much. Thank you.